Hi guys, my name is Meads. This is going to be a review for Sentinel's re-edit Iron Man line, and we have the Hulkbuster. And that is designed by Chemical Attack T-Rex. And this is quite a big box. And here we go. So I'm really excited for this one. This is the number 5 from this particular line on the back side here. And kind of have like that embossed re-edit. And I think that's pretty much it. Top here, we'll get that sticker made in factory. And on the bottom here. And inside we got that windowed. We got the Velcro. I'm so used to the magnet. So inside you get the nice illustration with the light up here. Yep. And it says Hero Knox over there. Huh. It's probably the illustrator. And here we go inside. Well, in a bit I'll be unboxing this. But first, there is the head, kind of like a boss. So where you have the head and portion of the upper torso inside. So that's really cool. And you have this giant... I'm not sure if this is a part of the arm or shoulder. And then you also get this parts here. I'll figure it out once I open this. And there we go. Let's take a look inside. We're continuing on. We have the bases here. Now first, you're gonna have this, which is typical for all the Iron Man Sentinel figures. But we're not gonna use it on this one. They've actually provided you an extra set. And let's just get this out of the way. But it's kind of interesting. So just in case you need more of those, you get an extra. But on this one, you're gonna get this square. And on this one is actually kind of like a frame, and from this layout on the back side, and as well as instruction, you can actually take this out. I haven't not tried that yet. Let's see if I could, but probably I'll leave it the way it is right now. But you can take this out and you can separate all these 4 corners. It's kind of an interesting setup here. Now you have this connector here, which is the base for the arm, and you just gotta align it. It has to go this way. There's a little notch here on the back side. Goes in, doesn't matter which side you picked, and just slide all the way. Now once you put it on, if you have to remove it, you're gonna get your flat screwdriver. This is the best way I've done it. You go like this and you kind of pry it out this way. Make sure you put something, either your finger or here, or just something while you're pushing, just gently and side to side. You don't want to go like this. The metal here on your screwdriver will put a dent here. But that's one way I've tried to take this out. If you need to do that, then you have this arm here, which is held by screw, so you can loosen that or tighten it. Then you have this connector part here, which is in that pseudo gold plastic. Kind of interesting they've picked that color. They could have just picked black. I wish they picked black. And this just mounts here. You can rotate this, and there you go. That's a nice big base. Right, we have the Hulkbuster here. And actually, I'm kind of scared of having him stand like this without the base. Mainly because he's kind of top heavy. Although the weight distribution, it's kind of spread out, but the feet is kind of small, which we'll see in a bit. But for height, it's about 10 inch. 10 inch using this ruler. And in metric, about, let's say 25 and a half centimeters, around that height. So he's quite tall. And later on, I'll compare it with the figure arts and the Build-A-Figure. And here we go. Alright, so taking a closer look at this one, looking at the legs here and the feet. So you can see it's a little smaller, comparable to the movie version. Yeah. But the paint, it's really nice to get this metallic red here. Then you have the dull metallic red as well. It's a nice touch. Then you have the gold, as well as that the plastic gold, the joint there that they mixed, which is not too bad in terms of the color. Then you got this like champagne gold here as well, and you have a very nice color, especially this shoulder armor here, the Polderon. I think that's what they call it, the shoulder plates. Then you have the big helm here, really nice. Then you got that huge reactor on the back. Not sure if that's a reactor or that might be some thrusters. You have some on the bottom as well. Yeah, it looks really cool and quite a bit different from the Hulkbuster we see in the movie. Alright, so I think that's pretty much it in terms of the color. Although I did find a bit of mishap on mine. If you look closely here, it's supposed to be matte red here, but I see a bit of kind of like a scratch or kind of bubbling. Same thing on this one. This one is a bit more prominent, but on the back side it's a nice matte here. Same thing on here. I could flip this around, but that involves me unscrewing the whole shoulder, but probably just leave it the way it is. Not gonna notice it till you really look into it. And also I've forgot to put this on, but there's this like canister which goes on the back here, and I just put down the Hulkbuster. So this one has a cool gimmick. You can turn this out, take it out, and let's see if I can open this up. There we go. Just gonna use my nails, slide it over. Same thing on the other side. And just wanna open it up. There we go. So you get the LEDs here, and there are LR41s, and there are different compartments here. So there's two of these that you put on. Then there's one on each arm, and there's some on the leg, which we'll go over also. But I like how this thing has that connection, kind of like the earphone jack. So there's another way of powering up your LEDs, which is really cool. Right, so let me put this back here. There we go. So this is just mounted on the back side here, and the other one, I don't think there's a difference whichever way you want to do it. Then while we're at it, actually let's go over where the LEDs are. Then we'll start turning them on. On here, on the arm, the switch is right there. If you have to remove it, you gotta push this down a little bit, then push this up. There's a little screw there. Open it up, you see two LR41s. Yeah, 41s are a bit bigger. 41s. And that's that for the part right there. And same thing here. So this one, it's kind of tricky how to pull this out. I haven't had the best luck of doing it properly. So you gotta angle the ankle and pull this out. Yeah. The switch is right there, but I kind of want to show where the batteries are. Even then, trying to reach the switch is tricky as well. There has to be a better way for this. There's two tabs there. I don't know if you can see that, but that's where it's held. But there's another tab, a square peg on top. Yeah, just freeing this, it's a problem sometimes. Alright, managed to get it off, but here we go. So there's a switch right there, and looking at the back side, you have those tabs, you get the square peg, and you get this little peg there too. Yeah, I'm not sure what's really holding it, but it could be a little troublesome taking it out. I kind of wish it's held by a magnet as well. This would definitely make it a lot easier. Yeah, they could have done it the same way they had this on the forearm. I mean, they're gonna put a screw there anyways. There's always something. Alright, so let's go continue with the LED gimmick. So, on here, we gotta remove this back compartment here. There we go. Here we got two switches. So one of them turns on the front LEDs. The other one here on the left turns on this back side. And that's quite bright. Not too blinding, but bright enough. Same way we got the front here. That's really nice. And that reactor right there, you can actually see it from the inside. That's well, he's the bleeding edge. This is the bleeding edge armman. And his reactor is showing through the front part there, which is really nice. And there is a gimmick here. Oh, actually, well, before we get to the gimmick, when you put the helmet on, the Hulkbuster's head, you can actually kind of see it shining through. Oh, let me see if I can. Huh. It's a little odd. Alright, I figured it out. So, turns out if you push it all the way down, you're not going to see much, but if you go up a little bit, you'll see the eyes. And it's kind of hard to show, but you kind of see it right there. Actually, you see it in person a lot better than what's showing in the camera. Right, so that's for that. And let's show the arm or the LED here. So for the hands, each finger is articulated, which is really nice. Alright, I just want to open that up. Turn on the switch. There we go. It's not bright. And the thing is, I think the joint is clear. The LED is in here, so it's showing through a couple of clear plastic. And before you bounce there, it's not as bright at the back here as we've seen, but it's good enough. At least we have this, unlike the figure arts. Alright, so that's that. Then moving on to the leg. Turn this on here. Here we go. Actually, you kind of see this glowing here on the shin. But this glows, or this turns on the whole leg here. As well as if you've bent the knees, which I'll go over again, but you can actually see the whole thing go up here. And that's really cool that they have that. Alright, that's it for the LED gimmick. As much as I'm a big fan of the LED, it's one of those that it's good for a good minute, but you don't want to keep using it. You know, for one of the batteries. Yeah. So it's good to have a figure that looks great either way, having the LED on or the LEDs are off. Moving on, there's actually a couple more gimmicks here. So I've shown this part here, and you kind of have this screen, clear screen here, which is cool looking. You can flip that down there. Now there's a gimmick where this whole cockpit area kind of opens up. So to do that, you kind of push down the shin of this the Hulkbuster's helm here. Just push it down, and there we go. And the whole thing just kind of opens up, and you kind of see the inner workings there. Really nice. And this is kind of like the extreme armor, the bleeding edge Iron Man here in the torso, which is kind of cool. I do have him here, and yeah, it's kind of nice. And to push it back, for instructions, you kind of just hold this down here with 2 fingers, both sides, and you kind of just assist it going down. There we go. Alright, moving on, you have this giant the pauldrons here, shoulder, and these are connected in that hinge, kind of like that gold plastic. There's a swivel point right there. You can turn this around. Actually, what if I just turn it like this? It's actually not too bad too. Maybe I'll just do it that way. So that's that. And actually, let me just show on the back side here. I don't think there's much going on the back side in terms of flaps. But it's quite nice. Alright, now for the shoulder here, you got this kind of like collar that just floats. But you're also able to swing the whole arm forward. There's a swivel point right there for a hinge, so that's great. And whoops, oh, let's just take that off. You got the bicep swivel there, and you can even reach the other shoulder, well, to a certain extent. Get that good elbow bend right there. It's actually double jointed. There we go. That's quite nice. It's mostly covered, so that's really good. I like how they've done that. And you can see that gray piece getting covered as you push that in. So that's really cool. I like that. So that's really nice. Then over here we have the wrist joint. It is there's a little bit of articulation there by the wrist. Then you have the whole ball joint here. Then again, all these segments here, you got the hinge. You can move each finger. So that's great articulation there. This is already angled. I kind of mentioned on my Mondo Iron Giant that it's stuck like this. So you cannot do a peace sign. Here you can probably do a peace sign since the fingers are kind of across already. So there you go. If you ever need to have that pose, why not? But you can probably play a rock paper scissors with this and another figure. Maybe the HH Figure Arts Hulkbuster, which has a fully articulated hand as well. So that's a really nice hand. So it's pretty much the same as on this side. And again, this is held by magnets right here. I'm just gonna take that off for now. Alright. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but the shoulder here can go all the way up. Rotate this way as well. So again, good range of motion there. Now for the torso, there's articulation here and on the waist. You can rotate this side to side just a little bit. And it's a little troublesome getting the waist to move as well. But just gotta be really careful as you turn this whole thing. But you can turn it, my assumption, as this much, 45 to either side. And there we go. I mean, the waist skirt has some limitations to it because of that. But the waist joint here is a bit stiff. But there's also side to side motion here. So that's really good on that joint down there. This thing here is flexible. It's mounted on the back side here. I think there's a screw. I was taking a peek inside. There's some kind of connection here for this waist. But it is flexible enough to be able to be detached. You got this side skirt here, which you can flip up. So it gives you a bit more range of motion here. You get a tie swivel here as well. On the back side, you got quite a bit of moving parts. And the one cool thing about this is when you bend the knees, and Sentinel it's kind of known for it, you got a lot of cool moving parts. So as this moves in, you kind of see this thing kind of moves up out of the way. And if you keep going, this reactor or thruster thing kind of goes down. And that is some crazy articulation there. And now let's just move this up here. There we go. You see that extra knee there? That's really cool. And you got this kind of like spiky knee here. It looks like it could do some damage as well. So that's really nice. Yep. So let me push this down again. One more time. There we go. That's really nice. I like that. So either way, for front or back, there's some moving parts, which is nice. And moving down on this bottom here, I don't think there's anything on the panels here. Now for the ankles, it's a bit interesting design. First thing I've noticed, you can see that gap there when you move this whole thing. There's actually a gold plate here, or not plate, but the gold plastic, and that kind of goes through here. And I kind of feel that it feels a bit of like a die cast. Actually, this whole thing is lightweight. It's not as heavy as the figure arts where it's kind of cumbersome holding it for the review. This one, it's lightweight, which is nice. But there's still a lot of parts into it that makes kind of gives it a weight. But there might be some parts here die cast, like the sole here. It's a bit cold. That's die cast. But for the most part, I'm not feeling, well, maybe the hand here, it's a bit die cast. But otherwise, I think it's just painted on top of that plastic. But nonetheless, it looks great. Now for that joint here on the ankle, it gives you a bit of a movement. So you can move that way and move downward like this. You can move the toe that much up. It's really good. And you can even tilt it sideways for a wide stance. You just gotta be careful as you move it around. And this backside does flip up too, so that's nice. And I think I covered the articulation for the most part. I do notice that sometimes this does side thing here does move up when you're pushing this. I'm not sure if it's spring loaded. Kind of feel it does. So you kind of just have to push it down and get it resituated again. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for articulation. I know I'm forgetting something. Well, this head actually moves. So for those who are wondering, you can move this. I think there's a pivot joint on top there. So you can move the head. Yep. Just make sure to clear that bottom part there. And this whole segment here is kind of flexible because of that transformation when you pop it down. So again, you can move the neck or the neck area, which is nice. Alright, the fun part, putting on the base. Alright, so let's get him situated on the post. So you want to do is open up the arms. That way you can open up the legs. You can probably just need that one side. So flip this side skirt up and move this up out of the way. There we go. And you'll see this golden tab here. The notch is actually on top of that. It's kind of weird. But let's get this out. There we go. So what you want to do is, I think what works best for me is slide it from the back side. Well, yeah, let's go with that. That seemed to work with me before. Huh, maybe this way. Although that shouldn't matter. Well, actually, let's just try pushing it in this way. And be careful as you push this in that you're not hitting the side skirt. There we go. Because you might be pushing this in and stressing that. But yeah, there we go. I think what I'm trying to do before is when you push it backwards, there we go. This will allows you to disengage it and you can pop it out. But it's a little troublesome pushing it in there, but it holds it quite nicely. There we go. Let's push this in here and just get him resituated. And as I mentioned before, I think that would be better if it was black. Yeah, but with this, you have him in the flight post. You can actually hold him up quite well, although it's a bit tilted. Trying to readjust this. And there we go. You can do some action shots with this base. Really nice. Right, so we have the figure arts right here on the right. Now, I have to kind of prop up him a little bit because this base here is slightly taller. But for the most part, they're about the same height if you compare the top of the head to the back of this Hulkbuster. Although the pistons on the back sticking out a little bit more. Or depending which angle you're looking at. Yeah. And also, we also got to consider that the Sentinel Iron Man, they're actually a bit taller. They're about 7-inch, I believe, compared to your 6-inch figure arts. So if they're the same height, and this is supposed to be bigger, so this is actually smaller, and the movie version is still bigger. But there you go. In terms of overall mass, I still have to say the figure arts here has quite a bit of heft to it when you lift that up compared to this. Yeah, there's quite a bit of die cast here. Again, on this one, there's a lot of plated parts on it to make it look like it's metallic. But nonetheless, it's great. And as you can see from the articulation, especially on the legs, that's really nice. They're able to do that. And overall, yeah, the articulation on the Sentinel is really nice. But in just terms of standing, you definitely need the base for this. Those really, I wouldn't call them skinny legs, but comparing to his whole body, yeah, it kind of needs help on that part. But the base is great. You can do a lot of dynamic aerial poses with that, especially when it's lounging on the air or punching or just any of those. Nice to have that base. Otherwise, I could also show the Build-A-Figure, which is almost the same as the figure arts. Not that different. Here we go. Oh my god, I'm a little tilted here. There we go. It's actually a little shorter than the figure arts. Although the Build-A-Figure, I believe, is the same as 1/12 scale or 6-inch figure line. But there you go. That's pretty much it for the review for the Hulkbuster. Alright, in conclusion, was it worth it? Well, let's talk about its comparison. Now, the figure arts Hulkbuster here, it's kind of sought after now, but let's just say you pre-order both of them and you get that at MSRP or manufacturer suggested retail price. Let's talk around 350 to 400. Now that's a lot of money. Yes, but the engineering that went through on making these figures is phenomenal. It's amazing what they can come up these days. It's really nice. So with that said, let's talk about that price point. Now the figure arts is kind of hard to buy at that price now. I think skyrocketed. I think it's close to 500 now if you want to get the figure arts Hulkbuster. Now for the Sentinel, I think it's still readily available at around 350, well maybe not that price, 370 to 400 plus. Then you gotta consider shipping. So around that price point, and it's still readily available. So that's not a problem for the Hulkbuster. Articulation wise, shown in this review, overall, this guy got it. The arms, the hands, the legs, and you even got an awesome action base for flight poses. Yeah, overall, it's nice. Now, LED gimmick, the Sentinel got it too because you have some on the arms or the hand blasters, which this one didn't get. LED gimmicks for that. Why? Why? I guess they figured, yeah, it's enough for the chest and the front torso here. Or, sorry, the front legs. I think that'll be good enough, right? Well, it's Iron Man. Gotta have the repulsor blast on the hands. Yeah, and plus, this one has a cool, even on the backside of the has a LED gimmick, so it's a nice combination. And plus, you have a more movable torso, which you can see inside, and they even have a bit of a replica of the bleeding edge. So that's really nice. This one you don't, but if you see in my review, I kind of fill around, was able to put the Mark 43's head on it. Maybe. And yeah, just overall, I really like this. The Sentinel a bit more. There's a lot more playability on it, and it's really nice. The only downside is if you love your diecast, if you really like it, there's not much on the Sentinel, or not that I can tell. The Soul has some diecast on it, maybe the hands here, I can feel a little bit of it, but that could be just the paint on top of the plastic. It's not quite the diecast that we know. This one is sturdy. I mean, there's some heft on lifting this guy here. This one, not really. Just, you know, the bulk of the plastic. So there's that. But the trade-off is you get a more articulated figure. So for me, I kind of prefer an articulated figure, and it does look like it has diecast because of the paint. So again, there's a trade-off on that. And stability, this thing can stand on anything. It doesn't need a base. This one does need a base, but the base is cool enough, except for that connection part there, which would be nice if it was black. There's always something. Yeah, but yeah, nice overall. Although I kind of wish this side here, shoulder, does light up too. That would be nice. But that might be too much to ask for. You already have a lot of cool things going on it. Anyways, that's about it for this review. Hope you guys like it. Again, I got mine from Ami. I did pre-order it, and at this recording, I was looking online. It's still available. And that's about it for this review. Hope you guys like it. If you have any questions, let me know. So until then, this is Meads. Thanks for watching.